Okay, surprise everybody.
How's everyone doing? Hope you all had a safe Thanksgiving, and I hope all of you are going to have a safe Christmas coming up. How have you all been doing lately? Welcome back to Roaring Skies.
All right, hold on.
So I just want to make a mention to this real briefly, ladies and gentlemen. The last time me and Mason did an episode, I believe it was on the April 25th through the 28th, if I'm correct, Mason.
Um, huh?
I said the last episode we did a part one on the April 25th through the 27th.
Okay, so let me real quick say something real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
We went ahead and I said that and realized we had said enough.
Oh yeah, we said yeah. We got almost 2.5 hours worth of information on there. So, and my computer was starting to crash.
Yeah, and real quick.
Say happy birthday. Say hey. In case you guys aren't here, say happy birthday to Mason. If you're not here on the show next week.
and that will
Mason.
And by the way, that will be showing periodically throughout the stream.
A big 21, huh, Mason?
Yeah. I'm gonna have some fun with my friends on my birthday which is next Sunday.
Yeah.
Next Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Of course, we usually film these
Big
episodes.
21, hey.
We usually film these episodes around 2 in the morning, so
It's 2:12 right now.
so
We're like 12 minutes off, but it's all right.
when I say 2 in the morning, I count the entire hour. I don't count like the minute.
No, I get you. I get you. But before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say I hope you all are staying warm in this cold weather because in some parts of Illinois and Missouri, it's dropping down to like 15 degrees with a wind chill in like the singular digits. So please stay warm. And I just want to say one thing too. On Mason, do you want to let them know what we're talking about in this episode? Okay, you already answered the question. Okay, that works.
We have
That
a
works.
yeah, I know how to use this thing now.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
And if you guys need one more reminder,
Everybody say happy early birthday to Mason.
there you go. Anyway, let I know what you're doing.
It's all right. You didn't see anything.
I know. anyway,
All right.
anyway, it's a cold day.
I know.
Yesterday
I'm currently home right
yesterday
now. I still got my hoodie on.
yesterday we only had highs in. All right, now I need to put this back on.
Yeah, I told you, man. It's gonna get cold.
Either that or I need to go ahead and turn on my heater.
I already got my
But I
space
can't
in my room.
but I can't turn it on while we're streaming
It's so
because
hot up there.
these headphones take. Yeah, there's a 2024 on top of my hood.
It says 24 on your shirt. It says 24 on your hoodie. Heck yeah. Big 21, bruh.
Ow.
But yeah.
My hair. My hair.
Yeah, you got caught up in that, huh?
It's gone now.
Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, make sure to wish Mason that's a tongue twister. Make sure to wish Mason a happy early birthday, ladies and gentlemen. In this episode, we are going to be talking about the April 12th through the 13th, 2020 tornado outbreak, I believe, Mason.
Yes. We're gonna talk about. I think we're just gonna talk about April 12th.
Oh yeah, the one that impacted Mississippi and just Mississippi and parts
We're
of Alabama.
we're gonna mention the ones that occurred in Mississippi and also in Alabama
Okay.
because there are some tornadoes that are worth mentioning.
Yeah. So
Just
So while you're talking, I will go ahead and pull this up
Like a
right
tornado
now.
touchdown just to the northwest of Tuscaloosa, northeast of Tuscaloosa. But that wasn't in there. All right, so let's tell you what you're looking at. You're looking at the Storm Prediction Center forecast for that day, which did include part of our area.
We're in the slight.
Uh, enhanced. I have parts of my area that are in the enhanced.
Yeah, you're in the slight. I'm in the enhanced, or you're in the enhanced. I'm in the slight. I got those mixed up for some reason.
Like me, like I cover areas
Yeah, our
that are
cover
in the
areas. Yeah.
enhanced. Anyway, of course, again, we're talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's way too zoomed out.
That's the best image I could get for it. It's showing big on my screen. Is it showing small on your screen?
It's shown very small on my screen.
I think it may be just because you're operating on mobile or something like that.
I'm on my computer.
Oh, well, I've tried to zoom in a little bit. I'm not sure if it's going to get any bigger than that. So I don't know. Let me try to go
Unpin.
open it into another tab. Hold on. Here, I'll go ahead and take this off if you want to keep going.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna real quick go ahead and. Okay, so I'm gonna real quick show this example real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
So this here. So this was for parts of central Alabama for the risk.
Yeah,
So of course it's just showing their area, but you get the gist of what was going on.
absolutely.
This is the sounding for Alabama and as you can see, it's a lot.
Absolutely. That's a lot.
And these are the soundings that they do with the weather balloons, which
Mm-hmm.
right now we are very which the weather field, unfortunately, we are currently in a situation where some offices have had to stop doing weather balloon sightings,
Yeah,
soundings, including the National Weather Service in Lincoln, Illinois, which that is the National Weather Service in Central Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And recently they had to take down the building that they stored it in because they no longer do it because the government cut funding for NOAA
Yeah.
when the government efficiency thing went into effect. We hardly go political on these things.
I try to stay neutral.
We try to stay neutral around here, but there are some things that we cannot stay silent on. And weather balloons things being ended in some National Weather Service areas is diabolical because you're not some people only get soundings from Nebraska. Nebraska don't even have soundings anymore.
They don't?
No, all the programs in Nebraska were ended.
Oh, that's crazy.
Were taken down. And unfortunately more is probably going to continue.
But yeah.
We're in a situation where we have to where meteorology is not certain.
The future is bleak, is what you're saying, huh?
Yes,
Okay.
because a lot of schools are ending meteorology programs. Like SIU Carbondale no longer has a weather program.
Whenever I was planning on going there, I think it was not a minor. I think it was either a minor or a major. I can't remember which one it was. Because that's one of the classes I was
It's
going
a
to take.
major.
Okay, yeah, I think so because it was
Carbondale's a major,
okay.
was a major,
I
but
couldn't
they no
remember if it
longer.
had been
Like I
Carbondale.
literally asked if they still had weather stuff, and they said when COVID happened, they ended the program.
Okay, because it was still around whenever I was a junior, but that was all the way back in
2018,
2017,
2018, because you graduated in
2017 to
19.
2018. Yeah,
It would also depend on when you went to SIU
I
for
think it
college
was
day.
in. I think it was in April. I think it was in February 2018 or
Yeah,
February
we went.
2017. I can't remember.
We went.
It was one of those years.
It was probably 18
Yeah,
because we usually went there for our junior trip. Oh, what happened?
I'm just pulling this back up. That way they can get an idea of what we're talking about today. I'm sorry if it's real small. I can't zoom in any more than that.
Okay, hold on.
I tried to make the image bigger. That way they can get a wide view of the risk that was taking place on this day and look at the areas with the
Wait a
slide
second.
marginal enhanced. Okay, that works.
Or this works.
Yeah. But yeah, this was the risk that took place on April 12th, 2020. You see the moderate, you see the enhanced, and you see the slight. This moderate risk. There was two EF4 tornadoes that occurred in this moderate risk. One of those tornadoes would become the third widest tornado in U.S. history, besides the Howlem, Nebraska tornado and the El Reno tornado.
We also need to acknowledge that this also went ahead and was also the widest tornado in
Mississippi State history.
Mississippi State history, and is still the widest tornado in Mississippi State history.
I think the one before this was the Yazoo City tornado of 2010.
Which we will cover at some point.
Yeah. But the tornado that would grow to the width of 2.25 miles wide would strike the communities of Bassfield and Soso and a whole bunch of other smaller communities.
Okay, unrelated. I think I found the best setting to go for the layout.
Okay. Do
I
your
can
thing.
finally see the outlook
Okay, I was going to say because
and the
I
way I
can't
was
zoom in the image
wanting
anymore than
to.
what I already have it as, or else I would.
Yeah, it'd be easier if you had a laptop.
I don't. I'm just operating on a PC and a monitor.
Wait, you can't click on the three lines button and zoom in like that
No.
on on top of the Google thing. There's a three lines button.
Wait, actually, hold on. Let me see. Oh, there it is.
There's a three lines button and there's
Oh,
a zoom.
it says it's zoomed in all the way, so I can't zoom in anymore. It says
One
zoom
hu-
100%. So
you can go in further than
you
that.
can.
Yes.
Okay, forgive me. I'm still new to computers. I just bought this one so we could do our live streaming thing. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm at 125. Do you think that's a lot, or do you think that's still too little?
Go back.
Go back.
Go more. Go up more.
Okay.
Uh oh, it's just not changing
Yeah.
on my screen. I
So okay, so I guess this is what we're gonna have to stick with whenever we're showing them the images and the.
we can also you can also download that and use your Photos app.
Oh, okay. Here I'm. If you want to use that, go ahead. I'm gonna go back to this and.
If it gives you issues.
Yeah, I can't. Well. Yeah, no, it's not letting me. So I guess this is what I'm gonna have to stick with for this one.
For the SPC, hold on.
But yeah, there was multiple tornadoes on this day, and this tornado that we are going to be talking about today is going to be the Bassfield and Soso. We are also going to mention a couple of different tornadoes that also occurred on this day too, because like I said, there was two EF4s on this day that occurred down in Mississippi, and there was a couple.
By the way, everybody, let me real quick say this. We're also going to talk about. We're going to also talk about Yazoo City.
Yeah,
I think it's worth talking about.
Yeah, like, do you want to include that once we get done with this?
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find archival stuff.
For the Yazoo City or this outbreak?
Um, for both?
Okay. But while you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull up the tornado tracks.
I should have went ahead and used this on the day we did the outbreak for the 2011 super outbreak.
Right?
The one that I have pulled up. Hold on. I know this is not from this video, but I need to real quick do this real quick. This was in front of my face the entire time.
And you just didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it at all. Um, I was. This is shocking. June 17th, 2010. No, nope.
Yeah, the day's not on there, but I'm just gonna go
It's
back to
not
this.
on there. 2014. Oh, that's March.
But while you're
Okay.
doing that, like I said, I'm gonna post these. I'm gonna look at the tornado track.
Okay, let's see.
But yeah, that was the setup, ladies and gentlemen, and this right here is some of the tornadoes we will be mentioning. This was the first tornado that reached EF4 intensity down here near. Let me see. Reached down here near the town of Columbia. Wait,
You
no.
you
Wait,
can
no,
zoom
this
in.
wasn't
You
EF4.
can
Never
zoom it.
mind. I apologize. Let me zoom in.
That was an EF4.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, I figured it was, but this was the first tornado that would reach EF4 intensity, and then there would be another EF4 over
Uh,
here near
near
near Bassfield, and
Bassville.
they would go between Seminary and Collins.
And the EF4, the second EF4 would be the widest tornado in Mississippi state history,
And number
reaching
third widest tornado
2.25
in U.S.
miles.
history.
And El Reno, by the way, still holds the record for widest tornado ever. And by the way, let's real quick talk about some myths and controversies that happened with the rating of this tornado.
Okay, go ahead.
So, a group of meteorologists did a study on high-end EF4s and went ahead and they came to the conclusion that EF5s should start at 190 instead of 201 miles per hour. They made that known that that was what's going to happen with all that stuff anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we were under a level 2 out of 5 for parts of the area as well. Cairo, Illinois was under the level 3 with along with Paducah.
Mm-hmm.
All of Tennessee throughout this outbreak was under the level 3 or the level 4.
It's just depending
If
on
you
where you
were in
were.
if you were in the Huntsville market.
But these are all of the tornadoes that occurred from this outbreak. As you can see, it starts off over here in almost West Texas and goes as far as around Baltimore and Washington D.C. and almost into Pennsylvania. So this was
That
no
is into
small little outbreak.
Pennsylvania.
This was a pretty significant outbreak that occurred between the 12th and the 13th.
Yeah, and part of this was Easter Sunday. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I remember I woke up to a tornado warning one morning
Yeah.
during this and our TV station was actually on the air for a tornado warning in the Boot Heel.
Oh, like down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I guess they took off that warning since there wasn't a tornado.
No, there may have just been some rotation, but that may have been it on that. But yeah, but just to give you guys another refresher, this is the outbreak we were talking about. As you can see, it's a pretty significant one because it starts over here and ends all the way over here. But there was three EF4 tornadoes from this event. There was two in Mississippi, and then there was one near the town of Estill, I think. I'm not exactly sure
South
what state that is in.
Carolina?
I think it's over here in North Carolina.
That's South Carolina.
Oh, but I think it was over either in North or South Carolina. There was a third EF4 that struck the town of Estill. I think that would also, I think, believe strike a prison as well.
South, it was in Georgia. It looks like it was in Georgia and South Carolina.
Okay.
It was in Georgia and South Carolina. So
yeah.
Anyway,
now since you all have seen that, I want to go ahead and go back to these tornado tracks because this right here was the first EF4. It's almost similar to Mayfield, except those two EF4s were a lot longer track than these were. But
by the way, everyone, 5 days ago today, 4 years ago today, we had a derecho event in the states of Iowa and was in multiple states, and that broke the record for most tornadoes in
miles long, I believe.
This storm?
Yeah.
The one that I'm talking about, or the one that you're showing?
The one that occurred after the Mayfield tornado.
Yeah.
1,000 miles long.
Yeah. And tornadoes formed along the entire line.
Oh.
And they were weaker, on the weaker side.
Yeah.
But it broke a record.
Yeah, it certainly did.
For most tornadoes in the month of December.
And the Mayfield tornado still remains the deadliest tornado to ever hit in the month of December.
Yes. Because there were 57 deaths?
Yeah, 57.
Yeah, unfortunately, some communities in these areas still have not fully recovered. Yeah. Like Mayfield is still not fully recovered.
No, they are not. There's certain parts of the city where you can tell buildings used to be, but there's nothing but patches of grass there now.
By the way, update. So WPSC Local 6 went ahead and did interviews recently for the 4-year anniversary of the Mayfield tornado, and they went ahead and said that they should have a new courthouse in Mayfield by 2027, spring of 2027.
That's good.
Because the year after the tornado was for cleanup. 2022 was for approving permits and all that to go ahead and get stuff built back. 2023 was for more planning. 2024 construction began. 2025 more construction began. 2026 will continue. In 2027, most of the construction should be finished.
Good. And Mason, do you want to just start with this first EF4 and then we can work our way up to the Bassfield and Soso tornado?
I think we talked already about it.
Because like I said, this was the first EF4 tornado, and as you can see over here in the red, all of you are probably having a hard time seeing them, but as you can tell, right near East Sartonville Road, forgive me if I am butchering that, near the town of Sartonville, there was some.
Just zoom into that real quick so that you can read it.
Yeah, East Sartonville Road. near the town or near the community of Sartonville. This is where you see
East
EF4 damage. Huh?
East Sartonville Road.
Yeah. This is where you see these EF4 damage indicators begin to occur. So let's just quickly check those out real quick to show you. Okay, let's see. And as you can see right here, a tree is completely pulled out of the ground right here, all the way down to the root. And and there's another one on here of a destruction of engineered or well constructed residence. The slab is swept clean. So let me go find that real quick, and I'm gonna. Oops, wrong one. Whoopsie. The slab was swept clean, and it just shows this image right here. Just shows this one right here.
So how do you hey how do you spell Sartonville?
Sartinville.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you
Sartonville.
Sartonville. Okay.
Vol. That's how it's pronounced, Vol. In this instance, it's pronounced Vol, since it's in Mississippi, and you're in the deep South.
Mm-hmm. Here's some more destruction of the well-constructed homes that were slabbed, where the slab was swept clean by this first EF4, and
Near
this
Saltonville.
too.
And with this one, you could actually see from the satellite of the damage, but we cannot show the photo of the satellite thing today because it is copyrighted. It is fair use, but
some more of the damage from this EF4 tornado. As I said, this slab
it is hardly seeable.
I can't zoom in anymore, so I apologize about that. But I'll just go back to showing the track, and let me go back up here. There we go. Alrighty, and as you can see, that's where the EF4 damage occurs, and
I'm pretty sure with this, I'm pretty sure this outbreak was the last outbreak that the Weather Channel actually did nonstop coverage and didn't have any commercial breaks.
Yeah, no, they were live for a while because I vividly remember watching Jim Cantori talk about the tornado as it got near Laurel and Seminary and Collins. I vividly remember that, and this tornado started off relatively weak, producing EF0 to EF1 damage, and will produce EF4 and EF3 damage right here. It would go
into and it would go into Marion County, Mississippi, and go into Jefferson Davis County, where it picked up just to the east of Mississippi Route 13, and then another EF4 tornado formed south of Bassfield, just to the east of Highway. Zoom out a little bit.
Gotcha.
Just to the east of Mississippi Highway 35, and the tornado crossed Highway 42 just to the south and west, east of Bassville, not hitting town proper, but EF4 damage indicators started showing up just to the east of Bassville. That's EF2 indicators for softwood trees. EF4 for the hardwood trees. It was debarked with only stubs remaining. You have to also check and see if it has like a logo on it.
All right, let me check. No, it doesn't have a logo. It's just a link. But let me show this damage real quick. This is where the EF4 damage would begin to occur, right here. As you can see, trees are completely debarked and denuded right here. And there was whole areas of trees that were just mowed over as this tornado began to intensify. I'm going to show you another picture of that too. Excuse me.
Whoa, whoops, sorry.
You're good. You're good. And the tornado would reach wind speeds of 165 or 167 miles per hour here, putting it in the EF4 threshold. And the tornado would only continue to get stronger. And I'm going to show you some of these photos right here. Here's some more damages that was done to the trees as the tornado began to intensify. As you all can see that. Let me zoom down if I can zoom down. And here's some more damage that was done to the trees right down here and over here. And as the tornado began to get stronger and stronger, and then began to get wider and wider, here's some more of the damage that was left behind. I'm trying to pull this up for all of you. Here's some more of the damage that the tornado would leave behind as it only continued to get stronger. So here's this. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this tornado would grow to a maximum width of 2.25 miles across. The tornado began to only get stronger. And as you can see by those EF4 indicators of the damage this thing would cause. And because of that, the National Weather Service would, or the radar image that would pop up as this tornado got between the town of Seminary and Collins looks something.
It would require a tornado emergency.
Yeah. This is what the radar looked like whenever the tornado was in between Seminary and Collins. This was when I believe the tornado reached its peak intensity of a 2.25 miles. As you can see, there's a massive debris ball right there. Huge. And as you can see, there's tight rotation right here as well between Seminary and Collins.
Yeah, anyway, if you guys are just joining us because you guys sometimes you guys just skip over parts of the video to see if you guys can find what parts we can do. This is about the Easter Sunday outbreak of 2020, so stick around.
But as you can see, the debris ball on this thing as it crossed between Seminary and Collins was very evident. Also, the rotation was very tight once it crossed between. And some more EF4 damage that I'm going to show you. Let me see on here. I'm going to real quick go to the tornado track, and the Bassfield and Soso tornado would begin near Bassfield, and it would, like I said, would only grow to and start to intensify. And then I'm also going to show this right here. I'm going to start showing when it got into Seminary and Collins right here. This tornado would produce some incredible damage in its life. As you can see, right here is where the debris ball was pretty evident on radar, and the rotation was really tight on radar. And
as you can see, a lot of tornadoes occurred.
Yeah, there was two tornadoes that came very close to Collins on this day. The EF4 right here and what looks like this EF3 right here. So the town of Collins, if there was any of you who lived in Collins on this day, can you give your thoughts on what was going through your head that day and what it was like to be in the
Look at all these EF0s and EF1s that occurred too.
I think this is just damage from the tornado as it passed by. That wasn't near the core.
I probably check how wide the EF3 was.
Over here?
Yes. $2,040. That's over a mile.
Yep, and the max winds would be 150 miles per hour. So Collins dodged a bullet on this day. They had an EF3 up here and an EF4 down here. So
Collins, that's the northern edge of Collins. Collins is a big city.
The south and north of Collins dodged a bullet.
The northern, That's the northern part of the
Stand
city
right
that
in
hit.
between these two giant tornadoes.
Um, hey, I need to remind you that that's the northern edge of the city
Yeah, the northern edge right here, and the
that
southern edge
got
right
hit by
here.
the tornado.
Yeah.
But that the Collins didn't get hit by the southern part of the tornado. It got hit by the northern tornado.
Yeah, so downtown dodged a bullet right here. Because as you can see, the F4 was right here and the F3 was right here. So downtown dodged a bullet.
EF4, EF3 because
Uh-huh.
we're in the enhanced Vegeta scale era, my man.
And as you can see, I think right here is when I started watching the Weather Channel coverage of this thing. Because I think this, around the time when it was right here or right here, is when I started watching. Because Jim Cantori was just amazed by the debris ball he was seeing on radar. And here's some more of the EF4 damage that this tornado would cause. Now, Mason, do you think images like this are Do you think images like
Copyrighted?
this are what caused the tornado to be disputed as an EF5? Do you think images like this?
Possibly.
Yeah, because let me see if I can find where that's from and just make sure it's not the other tornado. Let's see.
Hold on. Your imaging kind of went out for a second. It better not be my end again. Because if it is, I'm just going to exit out of Discord.
Okay. I'm going to check something really quick. But yeah, let me see if this is the right one. But yeah, hold on one second. I'm just going to check out something real quick. This tornado, do you think at this spot, like I said, that this spot right here, this what looks to be a house or a cabin, do you oh, it says it's a home. Do you believe that this right here is what led the National Weather Service to possibly consider this an EF5 candidate because of how swept clean it was?
It wasn't National Weather Service.
Or not the National Weather Service, but the person who researched it.
It was a team of student meteorologists
Yeah.
and a scientist that went ahead. So the reason why he said it was an EF5 candidate is because he's disputing where EF5 starts.
Yeah, because as you can see, you see these. It looks like this house was bolted down to the ground. I think because as you can see, this home was swept clean off of its foundation. So I can see why this student thought that this area would have been a candidate for
Students,
EF5 level damage.
student, students, and
Students,
a scientist.
yeah, I can see why they thought that this area would be a path
EF5
for,
candidate.
yeah. Let me see.
By the way, everybody, next week we'll talk about the flood of 1993.
So stay tuned for that. And here's another area that I believe would put the tornado in a candidate for EF5 level damage right
Hey
here.
Nick, can you real quick
Hold on, let me show this real quick. Here's another area that I believe would put this tornado. Let me zoom in because I can zoom in.
can you real quick
Oh, this is the same image. This is just further away. I apologize.
can you real quick turn off your camera and turn it back on? It is not helping my case, I guess.
But ladies and gentlemen, this is probably what led them to. I mean, the tornado was rated EF4. We don't judge the NWS over here. They've been in the field longer than we have. They know what they're doing. But this area right here, where this home was swept clean off of its foundation, you can probably see what led this group of students that what would lead them to believe that this tornado was possibly EF5. Because as you can see, there's nothing left.
Yeah, and it also depends on if the home was well built or not.
Yeah.
They have to also consider that in the rating.
Absolutely, because they have to consider if the home was built with if it was anchored or if it was built with cut nails, I believe, or like bolts or something.
Mm-hmm.
And here's some more EF4 damage that this tornado caused to a gas station in Soso.
Yeah, that's
As you can,
EF4 damage.
huh?
That's definitely EF4 damage.
Yeah, it's a low end EF4 damage, and as you can see, it looks like. Let me zoom in. It looks like this gas station partially collapsed almost, or like it was cut like right down the middle.
Like, okay, so off topic for a second. Remember that storm that went to Chester a few years ago?
I was just getting ready to say, yeah, this is what that's reminding me of. That like,
It went ahead across the bridge, went ahead and picked up, like, it wasn't a tornado, it was the wind. The
yeah,
wind picked up the Phillips 66 roof that they just got and flipped it on top of the gas station.
I was gonna say that's what this
Like,
reminds me of right here.
and Reed Timmer was actually in Chester getting something, like going to the bathroom, and at Motomart, and he went outside and was seeing a big windstorm
Yeah,
come through. And that storm left a lot of people in Chester with a very expensive repair.
I know because that's what this image of what this
They
tornado
made them
reminds me
they
of.
made them pay for new electric boxes if their electric box was ripped off of their house. And the the electric cooperative should have the electric companies should have insurance for themselves
Hmm.
to go ahead and cover that for people,
And
because this was out of these residents' control.
here's some more of the EF4 damage that was done to a what looks to be a church.
It
This
says a
it was yeah.
it says a
And as you,
church.
yeah, it says a church destroyed at low end EF4 intensity in Moss, Mississippi, with estimated wind speeds of up to 175 miles an hour.
Which that is mid end um EF4,
Yeah.
because it starts at 165, I think, for 166 for EF4.
Mm-hmm.
The
And
middle would be actually 180, but
yeah, a high end EF4 would be like what, 190 or higher?
190 to 190 to 200 would be low end EF4.
And mind you, before anything, I just real quick have to mention this because this was a mesoscale discussion. I just want to mention this too.
A violent tornado with potential peak winds of 170 to 205 miles per hour is likely going on.
So you can see the wording on
You
this.
you rarely get wording like this from
Yeah.
the Storm Prediction Center.
So this, I think this just goes to show the high confidence that they had in the tornado on or the outbreak on this day.
And most of this guidance is probably coming from the Weather Channel
Mm-hmm.
that day, because Jim Caratori's words were hoarse.
Mm-hmm. And this tornado that impacted the communities of Bassfield and Soso, it touched down around 4:12 p.m. and dissipated around 5:28 p.m. The tornado was on the ground for a total of an hour and 16 minutes. With max wind speeds of 190 miles per hour, it would sadly kill 8 people and injure 99 and cause a total of $73 million. And the communities affected were Bassfield, Soso, Seminary, Moss, and Pachuta.
Pachuta?
Yeah, Pachuta.
Pachuta.
Yeah, and the first indications of, and mind you, I'm just going to read off the meteorological synopsis just in case anybody was curious. The first indications of organized severe weather came on April 8th when the Storm Prediction Center outlined 15% probabilities for severe weather within 25 miles or 40 kilometers of a point from central Texas eastward into the Florida Panhandle. And eastern Georgia, I think that's as valid from April 11th to 12th. These threat areas were later refined with the introduction of the day 3 moderate risk. Four out of 5 threat levels across northern Louisiana, central Alabama on April 10th.
They
Historically,
already they
SPC,
already they already had a level 4 on the day 3.
it says that these threat levels were later refined with the introduction of a day 3 moderate risk, the fourth of 5 threat levels. And it says
That's just
historically the
crazy.
SPC issues 1 day three moderate risk, 3 moderate risk every year, and half of these over the previous decade were later upgraded to high risk. The highest threat level over subsequent days, a significant mid-level shortwave trough progressed eastward across the United States. By the pre-dawn of April 12th, mid-level cooling associated with the feature overspread. The line, while vigorous, hold on, let me see. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just kind of hard to read. It's kind of small. The feature overspread. And let's see. I'm trying to see what this says right here. The Edwards
Is
Plateau, Hill County, and much of central Texas,
somebody
accordingly.
watching a video
Huh?
in your background? Is somebody watching a video in your background?
Yeah, I can go shut my door. Hold on.
Because I just heard like video.
But yeah, it says the Edwards Plateau, Hill County, and much of central Texas. Accordingly, an intense line of severe storms developed along a dry line, while vigorous convective development formed further east. These thunderstorms were initially isolated in nature, but soon, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I'm into a mesoscale as a mesoscale convective
Convective
system
system
as they in as in enhanced
or a squall line. Or a squall line. It's a
yeah,
squall line.
an enhanced corridor of warm air streaming northward, as well as a
Or if you
fairly
can't
strong
say it,
wind
just
shear.
say QLCS.
Yeah, wind shear. These initial storms produced scattered weak tornadoes in Texas during the early stages of the outbreak. And
Which, by the way, James Spann still calls it a squall line.
mm-hmm.
Honestly,
And
that's a name that I usually use too.
absolutely. And that's part of this. That's part of the synopsis for this day. But also during the afternoon hours of Easter Sunday, April 12th, 2020, an enormous and powerful high-end EF4 tornado struck the southeastern parts of Bassfield and directly struck the communities of Soso, Moss, and Pachuta, as well as rural areas near Seminary and Heidelberg along its 67-mile path. The tornado killed 8 people and injured 99, causing losses of up to $73 million. The path was part of the massive 2020 tornado Easter tornado outbreak, which produced 141 different tornadoes and was one of the 3 violent tornadoes of this outbreak, which, like I mentioned earlier, 3 of them reached EF4 intensity, by the way. And it says the tornado tracked
Anyway,
south of Bassfield, snapping trees and causing significant damage and destroying a mobile home. As it intensified, several trees were violently debarked and denuded. The tornado then strengthened to high-end EF4 intensity as it struck the small community of Cantwell Mill. Several homes and a restaurant were heavily damaged or destroyed, including a well-constructed cabin that was swept clean, which is what I showed you earlier. The tornado continued debarking and denuding several more trees and significantly damaging homes. The tornado weakened slightly before becoming violent for a second time, leaving a home near seminary. More trees and infrastructure were severely damaged as the tornado entered Jones County, impacting the town of Soso, leveling a gas station, which is the photo I just showed you, and inflicting significant to intense damage to other homes and businesses in town. The tornado then impacted the community of Moss, causing catastrophic damage to multiple homes and businesses. The tornado continued northeast, inflicting significant damage to trees and infrastructure dissipating north of Pachuta. In conclusion, this tornado itself had a peak width of 2.25 miles or 3,960 yards, becoming the largest tornado in Mississippi state history, as Mason mentioned earlier, and the third widest tornado in U.S. history, besides and the fourth widest tornado worldwide, surpassing the Trousdale EF3 tornado, only behind the 2004 Hallam, Nebraska tornado and the 2013 El Reno tornado. At one point, Doppler radar recorded that the tornado was surrounded by a cloud of debris that was approximately 5 miles wide.
Wait, what tornado are we talking about now?
I'm just reading a brief summary of the Bassfield and Soso tornado.
Sorry.
You're good. So, now that we've mentioned the Bassfield tornado, do you want to just talk about the EF3 that occurred also? And then
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do now.
Okay.
We're actually gonna jump into something else now.
Okay. That's fine.
I'm going to real quick put in what I'm talking about.
Okay. But all together, ladies and gentlemen, the town of Collins dodged a bullet on this day. At least the downtown did. Unfortunately, the north parts of Collins was not so lucky that they would get hit by the EF3 that would go just to the north and northeast of downtown, and they dodged a bullet with the 2.25 mile wide EF4 that went to their south. Because at this point, when the tornado crossed between Seminary and Collins, is when it reached its max width. And to make it even scarier, Mason, I believe the tornado was completely wrapped in rain.
Yeah, both tornadoes were completely wrapped in rain,
making them invisible to the naked eye. So you're not going to see them until they're directly on top of you or they're getting ready to hit you.
Okay, so this is the one I'm wanting to talk about.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I can look that up for you.
So we're gonna cover more than one tornado outbreak today, just like we did with the April 2011 outbreaks. Next week we're gonna talk about the flood of '93 because we think it deserves its own video. Plus, we're gonna do a lot more after this episode. We're gonna do a lot of research for it.
Okay.
And we also have like my mom actually lived in Rockwood during the flood of '93. So my grandma lived there in the flood of '93. My parents actually met during the flood of '93.
My mother and father both, or my mother and dad both worked at the McBride plant that was out there that got completely swallowed by the water.
Yeah, story real quick. Even though this isn't the video for it, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. The levee that was protecting that area, the Brewers Burrell levee, broke during that flood.
Mm-hmm.
And during the flood of '93, that was actually the first time ever that the Chester Bridge was closed for flooding. Mm-hmm. It was the first time ever that the river got higher enough that they had to shut down the bridge.
Absolutely.
It got to 44 and they had to shut down the bridge, and then it got to 40. Then the bridge got underwater, like the island bridge. because it's two separate bridges.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
And then people, they're like, people, it didn't take people long for think about what that could be.
Yeah.
And then they said, you gotta go, you either gotta go to Cape, or you gotta go to St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
But most people had to go to St. Louis because they had to shut down Route 3.
Because it was
Because,
underwater.
yeah, because just like what happened in 2019 with the seep water, the same thing happened in 93, where the water was there so long that it seeped under the levee and flooded almost all of East Cape Girardeau.
Wow.
Yeah, and I have photos of that on my Facebook, actually.
And you'll have to show those whenever we you'll have to show those whenever we do our episode about that next week. You'll have to show it and show everyone the photos. And but
I think we should
I
just do a photo real quick and give them a preview.
yeah, of what next week's episode is going to be about.
Let's see if I have a photo album here of it. Yes, I do. Okay, hold on. We were kind of forced to drive through floodwaters. This was a speed video, a time lapse
Here, let me
of us
zoom in on this.
driving. And then let's go ahead and. This is on 146
Wow.
during the this was taken on June June 21st, I think, because it
Yeah.
took me a while to post this. Um, and the water was getting to very close to it being 7 inches, and there was a storm over there.
Wow.
Of course, the river was starting to drop finally,
Yeah, it was starting to recede.
and this is the river right by the levee.
That's pretty high. I'm not even gonna lie. That's pretty high. That's a beautiful view.
And then that's not all of it. Hold on, where is okay.
I think these are your school year photos.
Yeah, I know. Hmm. Hold on. I gotta have 38 items for this. Let's go ahead and. Yeah, we had to pull over because a National Guard person was going by,
Yeah.
and we were in a van. Yeah, it took us an hour to cross the bridge
Man.
because we were going 5 miles per hour.
So where was this at? Does that
East,
say East Cape Girardeau?
yes,
Okay.
this is East Cape Girardeau. They so they are already doing construction on the bridge, so they had parts of the bridge already down to 2 lanes at that point. And the reason why I wanted to mention this real quick is so we have a preview of our
Episode
stuff
next week.
here, our episode next week, because we're going to
Yep.
talk about multiple floods
That way we
that we've
that way
had.
everyone has kind of an idea of what'll be mentioned.
We're going to talk about the flood of 93, the flood of 2011, 2015-16, and 2019. All I'm going to say is so the 2016 and the 2019 floods affected me gravely, because I had to evacuate twice there for those both, because the 2016 flood, they expected the levee to be overtopped. The crest at one point was 49.9 feet, which if that would have happened would have broke the record for the highest flood ever
Wow.
on the Chester gauge.
Wow.
But to our north, the crust actually happened early to our north. So plus a lot of levees to the north were breaking, which the water went inland and made the water just start to recede downstream.
Mm.
So
It's
even
crazy.
though a lot of people had to evacuate, we were spared in both 2016 and 2019.
It's crazy.
2019, by the way, everyone, was longer than the 93 flood. The river was up longer than the 93 flood. I believe the river in at Chester was above flood stage for 113 days.
Ooh. Just a little over 3 months.
At that point, it was almost 4 months.
Yeah.
It was above flood stage from late April
Yeah.
to August. August, it finally went below flood stage, and Kaskaskia Street and Water Street were finally allowed to reopen.
Mm-mm-mm. Mm.
Yeah, it took a while.
I bet.
At Levy Fest, they actually had to go ahead. We used to have a event called Levy Fest.
Yeah.
Um, they stopped doing it when COVID happened, and also the state now gives grants every several free years. So we've been able to go ahead and have a safe levee. Plus, we haven't had floods in 6 years, so these 6 years actually gives them time to go ahead and do improvements, because it is not flooded at all in 6 years.
That's good.
I mean, there was one time that it went over Water Street, but
Yeah.
that was, I think, last year. But it went down immediately after, and now the river is in low threshold, meaning that the river is forecasted to go below 0 feet in depth. And there's now some soil exposed in the river. And some barges will not be able to go. So the Mississippi River will lose. So our economy will lose 100 to $400 million worth of business a day.
That's crazy, Mason.
Actually, it's actually more like 700 million to $3 billion
Billion?
each day. Yes, because we actually get a lot of supply from the river. And not from. It's more expensive to go ahead and do normal travel on roads than in the river. So that's definitely
Some
anyway.
crazy things.
Yeah. Anyway, everybody, I think that's a wrap.
I was gonna say, I got everything pulled up for the Yazoo City tornado real quick.
Oh,
I got
sorry, I
everything.
forgot. I forgot I even put this up.
No, you're good, buddy. You're good. It's all good. That's I got you covered. The most of the time you were talking, I was pulling up stuff to put on the screen for whenever we start talking about it. So I just want to. This is just something that I have to make a point of. This right here was was the day one outlook on the day the Yazoo City tornado happened. And
In 2010,
Mason,
was it
Mason,
moderate
I'll let
risk?
you explain. This was the day one outlook. As you can
Isn't
see,
that looks like the 11th?
nope. This is the April
Hold on,
21st, 2010.
I have to
And
make.
I
Uh,
was to say this. I have to.
I cannot see it at all.
All right.
Like it needs to be zoomed in.
I can't zoom it in any more than what it already is. And this right here is just something that I have to make a point of because as you can see, these high risks don't get issued that often. There was a high risk issued on this day because their confidence level was high for the severe weather outbreak that was going to occur. And one of the tornadoes that would form from this outbreak would be a long track EF4 tornado that would unfortunately hit Yazoo City, Mississippi. And the tornado would start around 10:09 in the morning and dissipate around 12:53. Its duration was 2 hours and 44 minutes, being on the ground for 152.66 miles, and its max wind speeds reached 170 miles per hour, taking 10 lives and injuring 146 and causing $409 million in damage.
All right, so this is the radar image from Yazoo City,
Wow.
and this was back in 2010.
I'm telling you, I know this is going to sound crazy, but that's one of the biggest debris balls I've seen in a long time.
This is from 2010.
Man, that debris ball is massive. My lord, that debris ball was huge.
And
Hold
then
on,
this
go
is
back.
after.
Did you see how tight the rotation was?
Yeah, I
Look
saw
at
it.
how tight that rotation is.
And
My
this is back
goodness.
when radar information wasn't as scarce. Anyway,
It wasn't readily available. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to show a aerial shot of.
by the way, this tornado was on the ground from 10:09 a.m. through 2:53 p.m.
You sure? You sure it's not 12:53?
Huh?
You sure it's not
12:50. 12:53
Okay,
p.m.
I was gonna say yeah.
Um, this was rated EF4 with 170-mile-per-hour winds. This tornado was on the ground for 152.66 miles.
One of the longest tracks in U.S. history.
This is the one of this was the longest tracking tornado in modern NAXRAD history until the Mayfield tornado.
Yeah. We keep going back to Mayfield, but man, it sure is a significant beast now, isn't it? But okay, I just wanted to make sure this image wasn't copyrighted. But this is a aerial shot of the
Hold
destruction
on,
that was
I'm
done.
gonna real quick go ahead and put this up. Let me see if okay. So I haven't zoomed in here.
Yeah.
This is the threat. We were actually under a moderate risk here
Yes, we
in our
were.
area. I wonder what I wonder if we had any tornadoes that day.
There was supposedly there were supposedly some storms that were going to head towards St. Louis, but they never matured.
Yeah, there's a train coming through my area, so
They never
bear
matured.
with
And
me.
let me show you a aerial shot left by this behemoth as it went through Yazoo City. Look at
Okay,
that.
let me real quick say this. So on April 24th, an energetic upper level storm system strengthened as it moved from Texas to the southern Great Lakes region. A cold front moved eastward across the middle and lower Mississippi River Valley before heading into the Ohio River Valley and stretched into the mid south portion of the U.S. In front of the cold front, a warm, moist, and unstable air mass spread northward from the lower Mississippi River Valley and northern Gulf Coast states into middle Mississippi and Ohio River valleys. There were already thunderstorms that had formed during the morning hours, and the conditions would only become more numerous throughout the day. This set the stage for a significant severe weather outbreak, with the potential for strong and violent tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds. As a result, the Storm Prediction Center issued a rare high risk of severe weather for portions of Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and Kentucky, the first issuance since April 26, 2009. Four, four PDS tornado watches were issued for that day for areas of Missouri, Kentucky, Illinois, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Alabama. The outbreak of severe weather caused NASCAR to call off the Aaron's 312 race in Talladega, Alabama. In Tennessee, there were three EF1s and an EF0 on April 24th and a EF2 early on April 25th. The EF2 struck after 2 a.m. and caused damage in three counties. Despite extensive structural damage, there were no injuries. Alabama was hit hard by tornadoes on that day. An EF4 tornado struck southeastern DeKalb County in the Mount Vernon area. The most serious damage occurred near the intersection of County Roads 80 and 55, where a church and a two-story home were destroyed. Several mobile homes were. Wait, what day was this?
It was April 24th, 2010.
Okay, so I'm on the right one then. Um, are you sure it wasn't?
It was Saturday, April 24th, 2010.
The fact that it's not telling me about this the
Oh, and
EF4 for
a fun
Yazoo
fact, ladies
City.
and gentlemen, this tornado that occurred that hit Yazoo City, this tornado was the worst natural disaster to occur in Mississippi since Hurricane Katrina.
And that should put perspective into into how this outbreak took place. Like, we are under a level 4 out of 5 for severe weather for our sake,
Mm-hmm.
anyway.
Yeah. And I just
And it stood 12 years as the longest continuous track for any tornado in the modern NAXRAD radar era before another deadly violent tornado occurred on December 10th, 2021, wreaking
you mean
havoc
11 years,
across
not 12
northern
years?
12. I said 12.
Yeah, but it's 11. Sorry about that, bud.
It stood for nearly 12 years is
Oh,
what it
okay,
said,
okay, okay, okay.
because this happened in December.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's right, that's right, that's right.
Ironically, both systems both crossed I-55 at some
Mm-hmm.
point.
And this tornado outbreak, this tornado, like I said, it struck Yazoo City, and it says I'm going to read this off to you, ladies and gentlemen. It says during the morning to early afternoon hours of Saturday, April 24th, 2010, a massive, long tracked, and devastating EF4 tornado, sometimes referred to as the Yazoo City Durant, or simply the Yazoo
Duran,
City tornado, inflicted significant to major destruction to several homes and communities across Louisiana and Mississippi in the United States, particularly to the southern parts of Yazoo City and areas near Weir. It resulted in 10 fatalities and injured 146 people during its 152.66-mile long track, making the path one of the longest on record, along with losses of $409 million. The tornado occurred during a multi day tornado outbreak spanning from April 22nd to the 25th, and was the first violent tornado of the year, and the deadliest tornado of the 2010 tornado season. The intense supercell produced the tornado a few miles east of Litlle and almost immediately intensified to EF3 strength. Maintaining the intensity before crossing the Mississippi River, the tornado briefly weakened before strengthening back to EF3. The tornado intensified further to low end EF4 strength south of Yazoo City. Several homes and businesses were demolished, and heavy deforestation occurred. The tornado soon weakened to high end EF2 intensity and gradually intensified before regaining to low end EF4 intensity a few miles southwest of Durant. Following this period of re-strengthening, the tornado weakened, fluctuating between EF1 and EF2 strength before strengthening back to high-end EF3 strength in southern Choctaw County. The tornado rapidly weakened before lifting near the north of Sturgis, or something like that. Forgive me if I am butchering that.
Sturgis,
Huh?
Sturgis.
Sturgis. Oh yeah. Initially, there were uncertainties of whether this was one continuous tornado or a family of tornadoes before further surveying concluded with one unified track through the path. Several tornado emergencies were issued through multiple counties for this violent wedge tornado. And this tornado would grow to, I believe it was over a mile across.
1.75 miles,
So this tornado was
almost
almost
2 miles
two.
wide.
This tornado was almost 2 miles across.
Yeah, and by the way, everybody, the tornado actually after so this record for widest tornado in Mississippi state history held for 9 years,
Mm-hmm.
for 8.5 years, almost 9 years actually, because this tornado would the record would be broken by the Bassfield tornado, which this tornado was 2.25 miles,
As previously mentioned.
as previously mentioned in this video specifically.
And
Anyway,
I just cannot get over how big that debris ball is as it's approaching Yazoo City. Look at how big that debris ball is. My lord, that is absolutely horrifying to see on radar. And all of this tight, hold on, and all of this tight rotation near Yazoo City. If I was a weather person, I would be almost scared for the people in the city because you don't get debris, because you don't see debris balls like this very often. You don't see rotation this tight very often. Whenever you see something like this, it's usually in some of the strongest tornadoes out there that can completely wipe a community off the face of the earth.
Okay,
And
so I think we got all that we could bring in today.
you think so, bud?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
so so I hope you guys liked the our experience here today. Of course, if you guys want to follow, go ahead and follow. By
Hmm.
the way, I'm gonna real quick go ahead and say this real quick.
Go ahead.
We're so I'm currently so my Facebook, if you guys are on my Facebook page, I do have my Cash App link there because here's why. I I'm wanting to be able to get like equipment for our podcast, of course. And also I want to further my education. And I'm not going to be able to do that on my own. And if if it sounds too greedy, I'll take it out of the video. But yeah, that's why it's on my Facebook. I'm sorry if I sound greedy by posting it, but it's just it's just life. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week
Please stay weather aware and please stay safe, everybody. And thank you for watching.
and also Thursday. Let's talk about Thursday real quick because next Thursday is Christmas, but they are now expecting some sort of severe weather setup
Oh,
for Southern Illinois.
so hey, we might be busy that day.
We're not going to be able to cover it because it's Christmas.
Hey, I'll still cover it.
It's
uh,
Christmas, and also any donation would actually also support us getting like Radar Omega, for example, so that we can continue doing it on here. Anyway, anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your
stay
week.
weather aware and
See
please stay
ya.
safe, everybody.